Going. Okay, cool. Here we go. So, guys, thank you very much for jumping in. If this is your first time being with us, we do this every Tuesday. If you are a guest with us, most agents on here are EXP, but this is not an EXP event of any kind or anything. This is something we do every Tuesday morning, open to all agents, all companies, anywhere. You're always welcome. Always different topics, different speakers, sometimes just open forum stuff. But the more you can participate in this, the better. Along the way here, if you have questions, you can put them in the chat. We'll definitely have time, for some questions along the way. However, Aaron wants to run this. So let me introduce Aaron real quick. Aaron and I go back about 20 plus years now. It's been a long time. We met when we first got started in real estate. I'm up in Colorado. He's down in Texas. We met at a conference in Arizona, and both joined a coaching program that we were part of. And I was part of it for 9 years. Craig Proctor, Aaron was part of it for I think a little bit longer than that. But became a coach with them actually. But through that program and all the stuff that he was doing, was able to build his business up. Top 50 Keller Williams in the world. Ended up starting his own brokerage in 2009, Kinn Real Estate Group down there in Dallas. And back about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years ago, when I saw EXP, he was the first one that I thought about and I reached out to. Aaron joined us over here, brought his whole brokerage over here, and he's hit the icon status, 5 times now, Aaron? Is that right? Five-time icon. So, which is the biggest, level of achievement over here at EXP. So just a beast in what he's doing, sold thousands of homes over the years, him and his team, his group. And so, anyway, I was on Zoom yesterday with Aaron. We were going over a couple of things of what he's going to share today, and I'm excited for him to share this stuff. Aaron's one of those guys just always working on his business, always innovating, always coming up with some new ways to do things, keeping up with technology and stuff. I think there's some great value coming in what he's going to share here. So you're definitely going to want to take notes. This is probably going to be a recording that you're going to want to watch, a couple times possibly just to catch up on a couple little things here. But definitely want to give it up to Aaron for this. So again, just a reminder: if you can, turn on your phones, participate with us. The more the better. Out of all of us being on here, it'd be great if we can get more people to really jump in. I always say if you're in the shower, leave your phone, your camera off. Whatever, turn your cameras on though if you can, and just be mindful of your mics. Okay, if you do have a lot of background noise, keep them muted because we will hear everything that comes in. So, Aaron, go ahead, man, take it away. I appreciate you doing this for us. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, for sure. Welcome everyone. So if you're in my market, you need to jump off the call because I'm going to share all this to steal my best stuff. Talking to you, Mr. Corbett. So what I want to do is kind of just go through this. I'm going to roll pretty fast. And honestly, the 14 steps, the second step is the most important. So if you're not on here early, you're going to miss probably the most important stuff that does lead to well over 50% of our success rate. So I'm going to jump in, share my screen, and hopefully, you need to make me available again, Jeff.
Let's see what happened. Here we go. Cool. You got it?
Got it.
There you go.
Let's get up with this. All right, so I'm just going to jump right into it. If you have questions, you can interrupt me, but I would say let me get through the entire step first, and then you can interrupt me after that, and I can walk you through anything. Like I said, I'm going to have to go fairly quickly, but I'll try to explain it in enough detail where you understand what we're doing. So basically, I say there's only 14 steps for us once we book the call. So once we book the appointment that we are going to go on a listing appointment, I always try to give myself about 24 to 72 hours before I meet them. I used to want to book the appointment and meet them as fast as humanly possible, but that didn't give me enough time to sell myself before I got there. So I want at least 24 hours, preferably 48 to 72 hours before I meet them, so that our system before the meeting has time to take effect. And basically I can walk in the door and take the listing appointment a lot of times without having to do my listing. So when we book the appointment, we give them a couple choices. Do days or afternoons work best for you? Would you prefer weekdays or weekends? I'm going to let them pick, but I'm going to guide their decision, you know? So if they say, oh, you know, weekends are the best, awesome. But Saturday at 1 or 3 be better for you, right? I don't let them pick the time. I want to pick the time on my calendar that works the best for me and work it around. That's how I've gotten around the issue of not working that many night appointments, right? So I can usually get my appointments, my day done by 6 o'clock at the latest. And plus, when it's darker outside, you don't want to be viewing at home when it's dark anyways. So at this point, I told them I'll be sending them informational email and text messages. I'd love for them to review it prior to our meeting. I'll text you when I send it. And then basically that is preparing them for my onslaught of marketing prior to getting there. Let's see. So step 2, this is the most important step, and this is where I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff on how we build it, where you can build it. The very first thing is we're going to create a pre-listing video. So do that simply with your iPhone. Typically, these are going to be longer than 1 minute, so you want to do them this way, not this way. Like TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, you want it vertical, you want it horizontal for this because it's going to be longer than a minute, most likely, unless you're a really fast talker. So I'm going to create that video. I'm going to go and create a website for them, and I'll show you what it looks like, how to do it on all this part, and how to do it for free. So it's pretty easy. And if you're with EXP, you have it for free. If you're not, you can probably find something fairly cost effective to do it with. I'm going to register a domain. So in this case, this example, we used matthewanddanette.online. Right, so this is the website. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them an email and a text message saying, hey, Matthew and Danette, I look forward to our meeting Friday at 1. I'm always reconfirming my appointment over and over again with them. And here's a custom site I built for you with your name, Matthew and Danette.online. Now, the reason I use .online is it could be .co, it could be .online, .info, .whatever. I'm just going to choose the absolute cheapest domain name I can find on GoDaddy. So I'm cheap. I don't want to spend $10 when I can do the exact same thing for one, because only one person's going to see this. So what we do is the very first step I probably will go into here is creating the video, upload the video to YouTube as an unlisted video, right? Then I'm going to go right into kvCORE. Okay, everyone has kvCORE if you're an EXP agent. This is where I create the website off of. Basically, when you go into kvCORE, your dashboard's right here. On the left-hand side, you have lead engine. Hit build a landing page. Pretty simple. There it is. I will show you how very, very quickly this is. I can build one of these pages in like 5 minutes. And then, of course, it takes a little bit longer to upload the links and things like that. But typically in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to go to video view. That's it. I don't need their lead information. I have it already, right? So I'm going to then go in here. If you triple click, it will delete the box. So like if I triple click this, it goes away, right? So that's the one fault with kvCORE with this domain builder. So you always have to just click in it and then just, you know, create the content. Right, so I'm always going to put their name first. I'm going to put their address in second, because when the website is created, if you look up here in the upper left-hand corner of the tab, it puts their website right here, or their address right here, right? So, and if they hover over it, you can see the exact address, the time, the date, and the time we're meeting together. Again, reconfirming that appointment over and over again. So, I don't even know how to spell Colorado. Anyways. All right, so just something simple. This would be where I change, you know, just information about me. If you haven't been in the business as long as I have, or you don't have as much success stats yet, use EXP stats, 87,000 agents nationwide, the #1 brokerage in the world, so on and so forth. Use stats that are going to sell you and make you stand out to the competition. The reason I say that is when you do this and you get this to them, no one else has done this. So I used to mail a pre-listing package. One, it was expensive, delivered to the door. Half the times they never opened it. It was sitting in the package when I got there to do my listing presentation. I'm like, okay, I know they didn't look at it, right? So this is way more effective and I know when they're watching it. So I'm just gonna fill out this information. And again, if I come back to here, you'll see it looks like this, right? So I use just some things that we do: professional photography, 3D tours. I even spelled it wrong: drone video, video tours, data dust photography, and then why we use them. Staging consults, why do we use it? And then a little bit of success stuff about myself. Then I'm going to upload the video. Super simple to do. So, and then if you see the submit button down below, you can see Sierra 120 plus 5-star Google reviews. So I can take them anywhere from this site if I want to. But how do you create that? Basically, up here. And then the URL that leads them to that page. So I have this registered. Right, so, and it's instantaneous. You see the button's already created. If I click that, it's going to go to my Google page. I mean, it is super, super fast, right? Then what I want is I want to create this URL for YouTube. So I'm going to get out of my PowerPoint and show you YouTube. It's not open. So I'm going to go to my videos. This is a private video though. Oh, this is slow because we're on Zoom.
Okay.
Typically it's much faster than this. So here's the video I created for them. I'm going to go and I'm going to get the shareable link. The one thing with, and I'm going to play the video for you guys so I can embarrass myself and you can watch me embarrass myself, watch my video. But you can just see what basically I say as well too. But I'm going to get that shareable link. I'm going to put that right here in the YouTube video. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all the stuff before the R2V because kvCORE doesn't want that. So you delete that. There's the video. It's inputted into my site. Site's ready to be saved, right? I can change the background to any of these things that I want. If they were an expired listing, you can even choose their past front picture or what have you, something about their home. I have found that if it's an older listing, the MLS doesn't keep it in warehouse, so it doesn't upload the picture.
Click one of those, Aaron, so people can see what it does. See
yeah, so just boom, it's fast.
Okay, changes the background, yeah.
Yeah. So it would be ready to publish at this point, right? If these were all changed, I just hit save, and now I've created the website basically for free on kvCORE, right? And this is what I'm going to be sending them, and then they're going to pop into the video.
Hi, Matthew and Jeanette. This is Aaron Kinn. I just want to say, first of all, thank you for inviting me over to your home.
I'm going to open it in YouTube so it's a little bit bigger.
Me over to your home to do a home evaluation for you and show you what we do to market your property that sets us apart and that has allowed us to help over 3,000 clients here in the DFW area buy and sell homes over the last 21 plus years. I know you'll find that it's an innovative marketing approach, and I wanted to share some of that with you right away. So down below this video, you'll see if you click that link, it'll go to our Google page. You can kind of get an idea of what we post on there. Also, you can see all the reviews that we have. We have over 100 plus there on Facebook and also on Zillow if you want to look in more than one place. They're all different and unique reviews that we've had over the years. And then I also, below this video, so if you open this and you just scroll along the bottom of this video, it'll say play in YouTube. So if you click that button and play it in YouTube, in the comments, I've put a link to a document that has 4 documents inside of it. So it's going to have 1, how we price properties to sell for top dollar. 2, how do we market properties? And what do we do that may be different, and just gives us a little background information on us in general. The third thing there is what we call our 88 laws of turbulence, which is basically 88 things that can happen in a real estate transaction that we know up front, that we budget for, and that we have systems to make sure that we do not have turbulence and we have smooth sailing throughout the process. And then the last document's our 147-step system of what we do from start to finish when we're marketing a property. So those do open up in a Google Drive document. If you do have problems with those, just let me know and I can email them to you. They're just rather large files, so it's easier to deliver them this way. Thanks again for listening to this short video, and I look forward to seeing you Friday at 1 o'clock for our appointment. And I can't wait to see your house. It sounds like a beautiful place.
So then I also put at the end of this, I put an end screen. So it keeps them on my YouTube channel. So I hope they hit this. They're in Keller. So I hope they go and watch the Keller market report. And then they'll be into my YouTube channel and they'll see several different videos that we've done. Maybe they want to do about the 5 upgrades before selling a home. So this is why it's important to have a lot of video in YouTube, but you don't necessarily have to have a lot of video to do this. You can do this with no video, just the one we just did, right? And then right down below here, if they click this document, they're going to go to a Google Doc, and I have it pre-opened just so it's easier and faster. So what they would get is this document would open up, and it's going to give them several reports that we have: pricing your home for maximum value, maximum payoff guide, the 147-step system, 88 laws of turbulence, and then links to our reviews again. Reviews are extremely important because those are other people selling you for yourself. So this whole thing, I'm selling myself, but I'm letting other people do it for me, right? So when they go to any of these links, they're going to get our pricing your home for maximum value, basically, you know, all of the stuff on how we determine market states, what markets are. You guys can get all of this. I'll share these with you. Max payoff guide. These used to be, we used to bring these all to the listing appointment and leave these as leave behinds, but these are better utilized as pre-sale packages to sell our services prior to getting there, because it goes about 80% of our marketing. Talks about all the success we've had in the market. Do we sell homes? What's our average price? You know, so on and so forth. Where do we market their house? You know, media kit. Here's our 88 laws of turbulence, basically describing the 88 things that could go wrong in a real estate transaction and how we make sure they don't go wrong. So we're doing 2 things with this. Is we're basically pre-selling me and pre-selling that it's too hard for them to do it by themselves, because I don't want them to be a for sale by owner, right? And then this is our 147-step system to selling their house, basically just from start to finish what we do, right? So all that's pre-done and pre-selling me before I even walk in the door. So
are you like 16 in those pictures there?
You know, some of them were created. You know, all real estate agents are 20 years younger in your photos. So the next thing I'm going to do after that is I'm then going to run targeted ads to the seller. So we create a short, like 30-second to 1-minute video about all the things we do to market a house, 3D tours, drone, and it's just bang, bang, bang in a video really, really quick. I don't have an example for you. And I don't want to get into how to do this in Facebook, because this would take 45 minutes in itself just to teach you how to run a targeted ad. Just know that if you figure out how to do this, it has to be at least 100 people in that targeted ad. And so what I do is I've set up a Google sheet that has at least 100 people in it that have replied to either a Facebook post before or come in as a lead off of Facebook, because I know they have a Facebook page. So that's 100 verified people that I can deliver to over and over again. And why not deliver to leads that I already know that have a Facebook page that I haven't sold a home to? And then I'm going to add Matthew and Danette and their information on here. So if they're ever on Facebook within the next 24, 48, 72 hours before our appointment happens, they're going to see my ad over and over again, because I only deliver it to 102 people and I pay like $10 a day. I typically get charged like $1.40 a day. It never rings up $10 a day because I only get charged when someone clicks on it, right? So, but what's going to happen is those impressions are going to be there every day. So when I walk in the front door, they're going to be like, holy cow, we see you everywhere. Like, we didn't realize it before, but you're everywhere. And then we've had that happen multiple times. I'm like, yeah, haven't you ever heard of the reticular activating system? It's like when you're going to buy a Ram truck, all you see on the road are Ram trucks. It's not because those Ram trucks were never there. It's because now you actually know about them and you pay attention to them. Same thing with me. I've always been there. You just didn't notice it. Now you do, because we've had this relationship. And I wasn't necessarily there, but it's a good selling point. So that's step 2. That's probably where anybody would have questions. Oh, I didn't show you one thing. I know, Jeff, you wanted me to show you how to do the domain name.
Yeah, go ahead and do that real quick.
Okay.
Because how to tie it into that.
Yeah. Sorry, this.
And guys, just so you know, we talked about this because I think that, you know, like he said, this Facebook ad that he runs like this, you know, is another. It's probably another training, and we might do this possibly here in April. We might even be doing a 4-part series with Aaron. We're talking about that, but yeah, we'll dive into that, you know, on another day here very soon. Okay, so go ahead and hit this here, the GoDaddy stuff.
Yeah, so if you go into GoDaddy, I'm sure everybody's been in there a time or two. You know, when you're in GoDaddy, you can type in domain names. Like, I can search for a domain name, you know, maybe I'm marketing to Jeff and Lane, right? So I'm just going to do Jeff and Lane, do a quick search, and I'm going to find, now this is not correct. If you try to register this, it's 1 cent for the first year, and then you have to pay for 4 more years of it. Well, I hope to have this home sold for Jeff and Lane prior to 5 years from now. So I don't want this domain that long. So I'm going to scroll down here and find the cheapest domain. And right now it's .online. So it's just for the first year. So that's the one I would book, Jeff and Lane .online, right? And then that's where I would drive them to their own custom page that we just built for them, right? So
Aaron, you do their name versus their address.
The reason I don't do their address is because I may want to use their address for other marketing once I have the listing. And
That's a good point. That's a great point right there.
Yeah.
I don't want this to go away because I want them to share this with friends and family over the next year, right? Like, look at what our agent does. Does your agent do this? Hey, this is why you refer to this agent. And it's easy for them to remember because it's their name, right? So if I go to GoDaddy and I go to my products, I'll just show you how I registered this and forwarded it. People make this a lot harder than it has to be. I've got a few domain names, so we're going to have to sift through these. But and again, everything runs slower when you're on Zoom. So when I go, here is Matthew and Danette right here. So I basically just click the domain name that I registered. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom and hit Manage DNS. That stands for Domain Name Server. Then I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom again. And then I'm going to add forwarding. So basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the address that I created for them. I'm going to copy this, go back in here, paste it, and hit save. That's it. Okay, and then I'm done. So that's how
Aaron, do you do the forward with masking?
I typically don't do forward with masking when it's their name.
Gotcha. Okay.
I want their address to pop up here.
Gotcha. Okay.
And when I do masking, their name pops up here and their name pops up in the address bar, and it's just weird. So,
Gotcha. Okay.
so any questions on step 2?
Let's talk about this for a minute, guys, because I think there's a lot here, and I just think it's, I mean, when he was showing me this yesterday, I'm like, wow, like, I mean, first of all, I haven't been in kvCORE enough to know that it even did that, what you could do right there. I know a lot of us, some of us are using kvCORE in big ways. Some of us haven't used it at all. This is a great tool that's in there. If you are an EXP agent, you have it. If you're not with EXP, I mean, kvCORE is something you can get, but I know there's other ways to create these sites out there.
I used to create them in funnels, but I have to pay $150 a month for ClickFunnels.
Right. Right. What do you guys see here with this? I mean, do you guys see the advantage of, I mean, you send this out 3 or 4 days before you walk in the door, and they've met with 3 other agents and you're the 4th one in. I mean, nobody's doing what you're doing here, Aaron. I don't think,
We've never run into, very few people did pre-listing packages throughout the years. I've been doing this 21 years. Every once in a while, I've run into somebody that had a pre-listing if I was on a competing appointment. No one I know is doing this, because every seller I talked to was like, you're the only one that sent me something beforehand, this is awesome, and then they're online and they see our ads everywhere, and then we build retargeting into it, which is another step where now our ad follows them all around the internet for 3 days. So they go to Weather Channel, there I am. They go and they're like, you are everywhere, and I am for 3 days to them, right?
It's a powerful tool. And I think, one of the things too, I think right now, again, we've talked about this in the last few months with this shift in the market and some agents leaving the business, whatever. But I think for all of us, especially like the newer agents new in the last couple, 2 or 3 years, you're going to be competing on listing appointments now. It wasn't like that the last few years. Now you're going to be competing for listing appointments, and you're going to be competing against good agents. Here's a way to make yourself completely stand apart from everybody else, who's out there, because nobody's doing this.
Yeah, to give you an example of the success of this is I had a meeting about a month ago, property's under contract now, but they had their past agent who was a friend of a relative that sold them that house only 2 years ago. They loved him. They talked all about him, but hey, we want second opinions. It's like, awesome. I'll be happy to, give you a second opinion. And I put all this on. And as soon as I walked in their door, we're like, we just think, our market better and our neighborhood better. Your marketing's a little more succinct than this agent that's only been doing this for 5 or 6 years. Well, 5 or 6 years is enough time to know what you're doing. But I sold them on me before I even walked in the door. So then all I had to do was talk about price, and we were done. $650,000 listing.
Wow. It probably takes away. I mean, can I just ask? I mean, you probably end up not doing. I mean, do you have to go in there and do a full-on listing presentation when you get in the door? It seems like this here is almost going to sell you to the point where you're probably getting right on into pricing and whatever. I'm guessing on some of these.
I would say 50% of the time I still have to do a presentation because they haven't watched it or haven't looked at the documents and stuff.
Okay.
And the presentation, yes, it's there to sell me, but it's also there to sell why I'm worth my full fee and not a discounted rate. Right. So if they ever have questions like, oh, the other guy said they'd do it for 5%. Well, now it's time to get into my laptop and show you why I'm worth more than that. Right. So that's realistically what my presentation's for. But yeah, I'd say 50% of the time they're ready just to talk price. They've already decided that I'm their agent.
So Aaron, do you have the mindset that if you're competing, do you want to be first or last on your listing appointment?
Typically I want to be either first or last. I don't want to be in the middle. First, because I can usually close them down and cancel all the other appointments. I'll even offer to call the other agents and cancel the appointments for me. Yeah. Last usually is the best because then I can close them in, but I've had ones where they didn't view any of my marketing stuff and somebody else was good that got in there before me and they closed them before I got in.
Yeah.
So I either like first or last. But I really, if I know I'm in a competition, I'm going to push. Please make sure to watch our videos before you sign anything, things like that.
Hey, Aaron, I was going to ask the same thing. If you've not gotten any feedback on any of your video or any of the product that you sent to them, how often are you reaching out to reiterate to check that product out?
I only do it once. So I send it through email and then I text it. But one of the cool things on YouTube is I can tell if they watch the video or not, because it's only sent to them. So if I didn't watch it, the views are at 0. If the views are higher than 0, they watched it.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
That's a great point. Because guys, when you upload a video into YouTube, you can make it public, private, or unlisted. It gives you that option, before you publish it. So if you make it unlisted,
Yeah,
only somebody who has that domain to get to that YouTube video can watch that video. So that's how you're going to be able to track whether they watched it or not. So maybe you send it out on like today, you sent it out on Monday, your appointment's on Friday. Wednesday, you go in there and look, they haven't watched it yet. It's a great reason to maybe get back in touch, text them. Hey, I'm looking forward to our appointment on Friday. Just a quick reminder, be sure to watch that video. I mean,
and here it is, so I can see they obviously watched it because it's at 3 views.
Right.
Like I'm typically 1 view because I log in there to have to post the comment, so it's easy to tell.
Yeah. That's awesome. Any other questions, guys, out of this right here? There's a lot here. You're probably going to want to go back and, like I said, watch this and just follow the steps, whatever. We'll have the recording up, on the workplace group within the next, hour or two after this ends. If you're a guest with us, be sure to get to the person who invited you here. We'll be sure to email this video out to you. We can do that later today. So, but any other questions on this part right here or comments, thoughts, anybody?
There's 2 in chat I'll answer. So one says,
Okay.
do you see more success with a personalized background pick or something in stock? It really doesn't matter. I mean, as long as they can read there's a couple of them that are really bright and it's hard to see this white against it. So as long as they can see the white type, it's good. Then curious, how do you get them to wait that long? Realistically, I just, I tell them, hey, I like to have enough time to prepare to put together a thorough market evaluation for your property. It's not something that I'm going to just spend 5 minutes on and have ready for you, even though that's all I spend on it. But I tell them it takes me a while because I'm going to research the market. I'm going to research the area. I have to put a lot into finding the right price for your property. So typically it does take me some time to do that. Quickest I can usually turn around is the next day. So today's 10 a.m. Let's do 10 o'clock tomorrow morning if you're in a super hurry. And like I said, this whole process takes maybe, I bet the first time it might take you an hour. When I have this ready to go, I can do it in 15, 20 minutes. I already have the document created. I already have the comment I'm going to put in there with the link. It's all just there. And I basically copy and paste all of this stuff in, as far as the domain information, that's all copy and paste except for their name and information.
So Aaron, do you have a template? Is this what this is? I mean, could you create a template that all you got to do is populate domain, things like that?
Yeah. So like I said, this could serve as a template. I could go in here, just do this, hit copy, and then on Jeff's, I could go in here and paste it. There, it's ready. Right. So, and just do that 6 times or 8 times or what have you. So.
Okay. Thank you.
And Aaron, all those little sections right there, the one you've got highlighted right there, professional photography, 3D tours, that's all customizable, right? Basically. Yeah. So that makes sense. Once you have that set up the first time, now you're just going to copy that onto the next one. And all you're doing is putting in their name and their address and a new video.
That's
Basically, I could see where it just takes, the first time takes you, half hour, 45 minutes. The rest of them, 10, 15 minutes, you're done.
Yeah, it's basically what the way I do this, I shoot the video, upload it to YouTube. It takes about 15, 20 minutes for it to upload. Then while that's uploading, I come in, create the site, do the backlink to Google here. And then once the video is done, I pop that in. Then I go register the domain name. Once you hit save, it's now a permanent site. You can't edit it any longer. So like this mistake where I did drove photography, or drove video, I can't go in and edit that. I would have to rebuild it again.
Timothy Wagner.
What's up? No, so any other questions on step 2 there? If not, I'll go to the rest. Like I said, that's the longest one. The rest is pretty simple. Be early. I always like to try to get to the neighborhood at least 15 minutes prior to my appointment, because I'm going to drive around the neighborhood. If before, when I didn't do this, invariably they'd be like, hey, do you know that listing at 123 Main Street? And I'm like, oh crap, I didn't see that in my report. I didn't see that in my comps. I know nothing about it, right? If I've driven the neighborhood, I'm like, yeah, it's a house, you know, it didn't come up in our comparables. Looks like a nice property, but it's a little bit less or a little bit bigger. I can tell basically from the outside. So I always like to know what's going on in that neighborhood. If you're in a metroplex like we are, there's no way you can know every single neighborhood and all the homes that are in those neighborhoods. So it's always nice to get there about 15 minutes early to view the neighborhood. I'm an early person anyways. Then I want to get to their door about 5 minutes before the appointment. I'm never to a listing appointment at the time of the appointment. I am always there 5 minutes early. Maybe 2, 3, whatever, but I want to hear them vacuuming when I'm ringing the doorbell. I want it to be like, oh crap, he's here already. The reason for that is, one, I'm valuing their time. It's one of the most important things. I hate the standard that has been created in our industry that real estate agents are always late. They're never on time. It drives me absolutely bonkers that people would disvalue somebody else's time that much that they can't show up on time. It drives me nuts. So I'm always early. And I'm early to the appointment, and why I want them running the vacuum cleaners. One, I want to show them that I care about their time. 2, I want to set up a pattern interrupt, right? Typically the last 5 minutes before the appointment, husband and wife are going to be talking about, okay, we're not signing anything today. And I break that before they can talk about that. I am there prior to that happening. So I'm doing a pattern interrupt and throwing them a little bit off guard, which also brings their walls down a little bit, right? Then, of course, walk in the home, introduce yourself with a handshake, and ask where you can put your laptop. The biggest mistake I've ever made when somebody isn't sold on me through a pre-listing video or what have you is not doing my listing presentation and just winging it. Or like, hey, I've got this really fancy PowerPoint, but you look like people that don't need to hear a fancy PowerPoint. I never get the listing, right? The PowerPoint is powerful, so I always utilize it. Step 5, turn your laptop on, make small talk, click on the listing presentation. That's a pretty easy step. Anybody can do that one. Step 6, I'm going to go through the tour of their home, make physical notes. Yes, physical notes. I use a Remarkable. But you can use an iPad, notepad, something similar like that. The reason I want to make physical notes is I could draw pictures of stick figures on there. I don't even have to make notes, but I'm taking enough interest and care about their house that I'm writing down things about their home. I never or rarely look at those notes again, unless there is something special when I need to put it into the write-up on it. I need to throw it into ChatGPT to, give me a great write-up. And then I want to take notes on both positive and negative points. I want to get them talking about them, their family, their lives, and the house, because that helps me determine what kind of personality type are they. Are they a D, an I, an S, or C? Because then I know how I need to progress with my PowerPoint presentation. If they're a D, it's quick and fast. If they're an I, I'm going to be all party mode, talk about all the grand things that you can do in the house. They're a C, it's all numbers and analytical. S, that's service. I'm going to talk about all the things we do to service them throughout the process, right? Step 7.
Real quick, Aaron, can I jump in? Not to get sidetracked, guys, but we have a couple trainings, that we've done here recently, and you can look those up in the group of trainings on the desk test. And, things you can look at online if you've never really dug into that. But that's important to dig into. You can almost tell, who do I need to address? Here's the husband and wife sitting there. You're going to be talking to both of them, but who's going to be the decision maker? You can figure that out when you're walking around the house, asking the questions. All kinds of things you learn while you're taking that tour It's going to help you when you come back to the table.
If
So-
you present like you want to be presented to, you're going to lose about 70% of the time, because most people are not your personality type. Most of us are D's and I's. I'm kind of rare. I'm like an SD. That was my teacher background, but I think teachers make very good real estate agents because we've learned how to have to teach to all different learning styles in our classroom. So it's easy for us to distinguish a learning style and then how to present to it, right? Step 7, I'm gonna compliment them on the condition of the home. Even if it's a giant turd, I'm gonna find something that's really good about that house, that it's gonna be something that we can sell. I do not bring up any negatives about the property at that time. Again, I'm still trying to create credibility and want them to be on my side. I don't want to fight before we even begin. Step 8, sit down at the table near the laptop and ask them what their moving plans are. I want them to tell me what they're doing, right? So ask more than you talk up front, because it'll give you your talking patterns for the rest of the presentation. Step 9, ask them, what are you looking for in a real estate agent that you work with? Then be quiet. Make them name something. Oh, I want somebody with great marketing, or I want somebody that calls me every day. That's called the Xerox close. You're getting them to tell you what they want. So now you just turn that around and sell them exactly what they just told you. And all that should be in your presentation, right? So the next question is, why do you think the agent, if they expired, or didn't sell before, why do you think the agent that you worked with previously couldn't sell the home? That's typically their hot buttons. Oh, he never did anything. He didn't even sit on one open house. Well, guess what? I think I'm going to have to do an open house. So we'll talk about what we do to do an open house. Not that that's our favorite thing to do, but we're going to sell them what they are selling us, right? Step 10, segment into the listing presentation. So this is, now we get into the presentation. So there are 3 very important elements when you're selling your home: cleanliness, marketing, and price. Your home needs to be clean, decluttered at all times for all showings. You need to have extensive marketing to attract potential qualified buyers. My job is to create demand for your homes. Everything we're going to talk about in this presentation is how we create demand or more eyeballs on your property online, and then how we transfer those to in person. And then the third thing is 90% of all properties, or 90% of all great marketing plans, revolve around price, and it has to. If your home is a $400,000 home and I price it for $1 million, I can be the best marketer in the world. I'm never going to get anybody in your house. So we have to put you in the right range. So then that's when I get into the actual laptop and go through my presentation. Obviously, I don't have time to go through the presentation today because we have 15 minutes left. There's no way. Then once I reach the end of the presentation, the end of our marketing program, I basically answer them or ask them a very quick question. So assuming that we can come to terms on price and fee, do you think I'm the right agent for the job? That's it. And I shut up and listen. I wait for them to answer. Sometimes you sit there for 30 seconds and 30 seconds feels like 30 minutes. But they're going to have to say yes, no. If they say no, okay, what things didn't you see in our program that other agents are doing? And sometimes it's simple stuff like, oh, they use a showing service to set up our showings. Well, all agents use a showing service in our area to set up showings. So that's an easy thing to combat. Once I go over those things, do you think I'm the right agent for the job? If they say yes, I'm going to pull out my CMA summary and show them a range of homes we selected, active, pending, and sold. I do not include expireds, canceled, any of that. We have a thing in Texas called active option, which is they're under contract in the inspection period. Then I explain how we pick the criteria. We want to act just like an appraiser. When an appraiser values a property, they don't care about bedrooms and bathrooms. So if you're only taking 4-bedroom comps because theirs is a 4-bedroom home, you're doing your client a disservice. Appraisers don't do that. They adjust for a lesser bedroom or more bedrooms in a home. They want square footage that's similar first, then yours age that are similar, and then they go out a half mile to a mile. I only want to bring about 6 to 10 comps with me. That's it. Okay. And I'll pare these things down to get to that number. Because then I can, after we talk about these, I can go in live in the MLS and show them all the competition in the city that they're talking about. But we have to appease the appraiser and make sure that this home's going to appraise. Then I explain what active listings are, that they're typically in fantasy land. You know, I can ask anything for my home. That's not a good judge of where I price your property. The good judge is pending and closed sales, and explain why. And then we go through, you know, 3 to 5 homes that have sold in more detail. When I do a report, we use kvCORE to do our reports. They're about 60 pages long. I only show them about 5 pages. Then I'm like, the rest of this is for you. I've already reviewed all this, but I want you to know that every listing has every picture of every home in here.
So you print out the CMAs?
What's that?
You print them out, or do you just do the online version with kvCORE?
I print them out because that's my only leave behind if they don't sign.
Okay.
Yeah. So I print them out front and back, so they're like 60 pages, 30 pages. Yeah, it's a lot of ink, but when we go in and we have this comprehensive marketing package, where sometimes agents bring like the MLS front picture, you know, the 1-pager and the, you know, a 1-page, 1-line CMA. They've got like 5 pages. I got 60. Who looks more prepared? Me, right? And plus in that package is a lot of stuff that's in my listing presentation. You know, so there's, you know, things in there like guarantees and stuff like that, that they don't have copies of yet. So that's also woven in the market report as well too. Then step 12 is ask the questions. You know, now after looking over these recent home sales, we can see a range of homes similar to yours between X and X, you know, 350 and 400,000. Where do you feel your home should be priced based on the current home sales? I do not give a price. I do not say 389. I want them to give me a price and then we'll work from there, right? It's like any negotiation, the person that gives the price first loses.
So Aaron, on that point, you know, with kvCORE, there's a section in there that actually says the range. And do you type in a range that you suggest or not?
I take that page out.
Okay.
That page isn't in my report. I just go over it with them and we discuss the range, and then I want them to pick a price in there. Then I'm going to prepare a market net sheet for them once we have a price hammered out that they want to sell the property for, and I think is doable. This we use an app. Ours comes from our title company. I don't know the exact name of the app, but obviously this is Independence Title. I think it's called One Agent or Title One or something. I can't remember what it's called, but most title companies will give these to you for free to download if you're closing it, and they're awesome. So you just type in the stuff. You can change everything from broker fee to detailed closing costs. It gives them a net. Okay, so you're 500,000, you owe 210, you're gonna net 256.75. How does that sound? Oh, we were expecting 220. See, we're getting you 30 grand more already, right? And then this is the detailed sheet. I will text this to them from my phone after they sign the listing agreement. Then step 14, after receiving the agreed upon price for the home, we close basically for the listing. So seller, we went over a very aggressive marketing program, and I feel very confident we can sell your home for the price that you picked. I always say that, not me, because I don't want to be the bad guy if it doesn't sell for that price, right? And then I never want to know their bottom number, right? So I used to ask that. So like, what's the minimum you'd sell your home for? I never want to know that anymore, because invariably that's the first offer we get, and they look at me like, oh, you gave away our secrets. No, I don't even want that to happen. So I don't even give that anymore. So are you ready to get your home listed with me today or tonight? Like I said, most people sign up there. I am not a high pressure person. I've given ample opportunity for them to commit to me 2-3 times throughout this. And at the end, if they don't sign it right there in front of me, I'm not all that worried about it because I'm going to keep marketing to them. And realistically, 9 out of 10 people sign with me that I meet with, even if I don't get it that day at the table, because I do follow up quite extensively and continue the marketing blitz on them. So I'm more shocked when I don't get one than when I do. So that's basically it.
Great stuff. I was going to ask you, I mean, I know your closing rate in terms of people actually listing with you is very high.
Yeah.
And I just look at all this stuff like this right here. I mean, again, just ways to make yourself stand out, and, the 88 things that could go wrong, the 147 step system. I mean, it's things that every realtor is doing, but nobody's put it out there. And so when you do that, it's just like, man, you are just the expert before you even walk in the door with that pre-listing stuff that you email.
That's so good. Aaron, would you be open to providing that 88 list?
All of those. You just have to recreate them. I don't have them in editable. So you'd have to recreate them.
Yeah.
Most of them I created years ago when I had a Microsoft machine and I had Publisher on it. And I don't even know how to use Windows anymore. So
I think food for thought on that one too is when you have to recreate it, then you're going to remember more of what's in it. It's more painstaking than just copy and paint, printing it into your own little letterhead or something like that. So that's pretty cool.
Oh, so Pam said it's on Joe Stump's side. And I'll just share for myself, I too used to do pre-listing packages ahead of time. And as Aaron and Jeff has said, people just don't do that. So when you go in and do, this automated version that he's got, I love how you're tying it with kvCORE for those agents that have that are with the XP. I love those additional steps that you have in your, pre-listing presentation. So this is powerful. And if you are a listing agent or you're wanting to increase your listings or you're wanting to win more listings, in my opinion, like this is a must do, because you're gonna have 50% of the, or probably 75% of the listing won before you ever step foot in the door.
yeah, I'm pretty much pre-sold. The biggest thing is commission and price.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
But again, you've provided all this value. You've got the website, all this value before you've ever gotten the first word out of your mouth. So you probably don't have a hard time, even getting your commission that you're asking at the end of the day.
And the ones where we have the biggest fight are if they're big properties, like $1 million plus, because that commission gets up there pretty fast. But anything under 750, 800,000, I'm getting my full fee on, not to be, talk monopoly or whatever, price fixing or anything like that. We can't do that. But yeah, I mean, I know what we're worth, and we're worth more than others because we do a lot more than others. Because then we will ask them, like, what did the other agents say that they were going to do for their 6% commission? Well, they don't do this and they don't do that, and you're asking me to take a pay cut even though I'm doing more. Doesn't sound fair.
That's good. We have 5 minutes. Does anybody have any specific questions? Like Jeff had mentioned, we're in conversation, Jeff's in a conversation with maybe doing an expanded version over a 4-week period of diving in deeper on some of this stuff. But does anybody have any questions?
Suzanne, go ahead.
I just wanted to say I would love a 4-part series.
Well, something we talked about when I was on with Aaron yesterday. I mean, again, Aaron and I have worked, we don't work together, but we've worked together really for, a long, long time and known each other for a long time, done a lot of the same different things and helped each other along the way. I just think it could easily be a, step 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to maybe the last week, we actually do your full listing presentation, Aaron. I mean, just to really walk through.
It's kind of a fire hose approach on this one. Like when Stephanie did her 4-part series for short sales, that resonated a lot better than when you get that first fire hose, because it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
So I could see, like, honestly, even, like Aaron and I did one, a while back, different guarantees that you can do to make yourself stand out. There might be something in there, a piece of that, but also I could see even this right here, Aaron, breaking this down a little bit. But I think a whole, again, you mentioned probably a whole training on just the targeted Facebook ads, with the retargeting piece, just, way to do that and set that up, set yourself apart with that right there going on. There's definitely, I think, would you guys be interested if we did a 4-part series on that? Would that be beneficial to you guys? I think we could probably put that together, maybe even for April, kind of like what Stephanie did. We do it on Wednesdays, 4 Wednesdays in a row or something like that, make it available, recordings, all that kind of stuff. So we'll talk about that here with the group, but yeah, I think that could be powerful, especially going into the busy season here.
I did share the in chat. That link is basically goes to the document that has all the other documents in it. So as those
Okay.
4 books.
And do me a favor, Aaron, if you could send that to me, or well, here, I can get it myself. I'll get it right here. And then, but I will also, between Kim and myself, we'll get it added up into the Freedom Team, the workplace group. And again, if you're a guest with us, whatever, maybe we can even add it in on the comments on the video, on the YouTube video once we upload this.
And go get that video too, share with you. Again, it's private, so you wouldn't see it. So, but if you want to copy this link, then you can go to it anytime. That also has the link to the documents, but then you just subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me grow into a YouTube mogul.
There you go.
All 53 subscribers.
You're growing. Just started doing it. You're doing good. I'm seeing your videos, man. You're doing awesome with the videos. So,
And show you what we do to market your property that.
how you do it. So, guys, any other questions before we wrap it up? Do you guys get some value out of this?
Jacob,
Yeah.
did you? No. Good.
What's that?
Yeah, I was asking about the 147 question, the marketing thing that I could not get off that number, by the way. So, but I just saw you post that's in that Google Drive.
Yeah, and realistically, there's probably like I said, that was done a long time ago. So there's probably more like 200 and some things. I should update it, but it works.
No, 147 is a nice number, man. That's enough. So
Hey, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
Good stuff, Aaron. Good stuff, buddy.
So, guys, appreciate it. We'll let you know what's going on. We'll talk about this, maybe turning this into a 4-part series, possibly here for April. We'll see if we can get that put together and whatever. But the recording will be up on the workplace group. It'll also be on the Freedom Team support page here soon. It'll be in the Freedom Team YouTube channel as well, so you can find it there. But this will be up and loaded within the next hour and a half. We should have it up there. So anything you need to watch again, some of those little steps, whatever, it'll all be there for you. Okay. But Aaron, thank you very much, guys. We'll see you next Tuesday. We'll be back again next Tuesday. It's the first Tuesday of the month. So bring your questions, just open mastermind. Okay. Anything and everything. So the more people that participate, the better. So guys, thank you very much. Kim, thank you as always. Kathy, Aaron, appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Guys, have a great day. Let us know if you have any questions. Bye-bye.